And the ultimate show of his how much he cares about our workers was in 2019 when he was the president of the United States. Where was he then?
United Auto Workers President Shawn Fain had some things to say about Donald Trump during an appearance on CNN. So, this is around, of course, the ongoing strike by the UAW against the big three auto manufacturers. You had Biden appear on the picket line yesterday in a historic move for a sitting president. I covered that. While Donald Trump is now today going to be giving a speech during the GOP debate, which, by the way, we are covering live on this channel. So come around 8:45 p.m. Eastern time tonight to watch our live coverage of that debate. But Trump giving a speech to, try and get the news cycle on his side. But it's not a speech to union workers. It's a speech to a non-union plant. And he was invited by the management of that plant, Drake Enterprises, which is a parts manufacturer. And it's all been organized, apparently, by the National Right to Work Foundation, which is a strictly anti-union group. So, knowing all of that, here is Shawn Fain on CNN giving his thoughts about Donald Trump.
Is the former president right? Does the push for electric vehicles here in the United States hurt your union?
It doesn't if it's a just transition, and that's what we're fighting for right now. It doesn't if the companies do the right thing and put this work under, our agreements or to our standards. And again, it's the companies driving this race to the bottom, and they're using our tax dollars to finance it. And, I find a pathetic irony that the former president is going to hold a rally for union members at a non-union business. And, all you have to do is look at his track record. His track record speaks for itself. In 2008, during the Great Recession, he blamed UAW members. He blamed our contracts for everything that was wrong with these companies. That's a complete lie. In 2015, when he was running for president, he talked about doing a rotation, taking all these good-paying jobs in the Midwest and moving them somewhere in the South where people work for less money, and then to make people beg for their jobs back at lower wages. And the ultimate show of his how much he cares about our workers was in 2019 when he was the president of the United States. Where was he then? Our workers at GM were on strike for 60 days, for 2 months. They were out there on the picket lines. I didn't see him hold a rally. I didn't see him stand up at the picket line, and I sure as hell didn't hear him comment about it.
So here's the question.
He was missing in action.
Here's the question to President. What about the meeting with Trump? Would you meet with him when he's in Detroit tomorrow?
I see no point in meeting with him because I don't think the man has any bit of care about what our workers stand for, what the working class stands for. He serves a billionaire class, and that's what's wrong with this country.
Tell me how you really feel. There, in case you didn't watch my video yesterday, I covered a CNN clip within the context of the entire discussion around Biden's appearance at the UAW. A CNN clip of a reporter discussing how it would be a huge win if Trump was able to get the endorsement of the UAW. It's media malpractice to even pretend that the UAW would be served in any way, or that there's any chance at all of Trump getting the endorsement from the UAW. It was clear before this clip when Shawn Fain put out a statement discussing how terrible Donald Trump is and how he works for the billionaire class, how he is a billionaire. He doesn't care about workers. He's shown no interest while he was president for workers. Before he was president, he's shown no interest. He hasn't since either. Any sort of rhetoric around caring for the working class from Trump has all been just that, complete rhetoric. No actual real policy, no actual real fight underneath any of it. And Shawn Fain lays it out. If Trump cared at all, he would have shown up, said something, done something while GM workers were on strike, while Trump was president. And Trump didn't care. And again, if you want a larger breakdown of Trump's history, I went over that yesterday. I've done it in previous videos as well. But it's nice to see a clearer rejection this time of Trump and his BS around workers than we have in the past. Because Trump, for a long time, was able to skate by on just his rhetoric and how he pretends that, he's the only one speaking out against how corrupt politics are. When he is ingrained in that corruption. A great example of how much of a criminal Donald Trump is what happened today. This story, I mean, it got buried, but this is any other president, any other person, this is a massive story. Judge rules Donald Trump defrauded banks, insurers as he built real estate empire. For Trump, this is just another day. Like this is the biggest issue when it comes to combating Trump. It's just that there is so much criminality, so much corruption, so many broken promises. It's so many lies. It's hard to keep track of it all. So you have a story like this go out, and it barely makes a dent because, yes, of course, yes, Trump is a criminal. Of course he is. This is not news anymore. And which also goes to, if Trump really cared about the working class with this speech coming up, wouldn't he be like, I don't know, putting more messages out about this? Wouldn't he be standing up for the UAW? Instead, his entire Truth Social here is obsessed with this story. So just trying to call out the attorney general, and this is like, it's on and on and on. This is all, there's nothing about the UAW. He doesn't care at all. And anytime he mentions the UAW, he had a Truth Social post over the weekend. If I can't, there's no way I could find it because this guy tweets every hour. So, but over the weekend, he put out a message where he was slamming the UAW president and just slamming Joe Biden, like while pretending to be, it's all the electric cars. That's the reason. That's the problem. That's the only problem that all auto workers have is electric cars. And you see Shawn Fain there completely reject that notion. Trump is just so not only full of crap, but also full of himself. The idea that he would care, that he does care about anybody else, forget even the working class. Of course he doesn't care about the working class. I don't think he cares about his own kids. So why would he care about the working class if he doesn't care about his own children? Last thing, just there's another great breakdown. I like giving credit here to people that really are on the ground talking to these people, these auto workers. So this is here in the Messenger. I'm not sure who the writer here. Dan Merica? What a name. I think that's a real person. Talk to auto workers on the ground here. There's a great breakdown of all of Trump's promises during, like, you're not going to lose your jobs, all the promises while he was president, and how he broke all of them when it came to people in unions, auto workers. So all those broken promises. But this reporter also spoke to striking auto workers, including here Tiffany Simmons, a UAW worker with Local 900, who's currently on strike against Ford. Simmons said the fact that Biden went to the picket line and Trump only plans to visit a non-union facility is mildly insulting, because at the end of the day, we aren't looking at either of these gentlemen as politicians. We are looking at them as potential supporters, said Simmons, who said she did not vote for Trump in 2016 or 2020. When people show up to the picket line, we are looking for the human. As for Trump's promises in 2016 and his plans for Wednesday, Simmons concluded, quote, he, in so many words, has talked a great talk, but he didn't walk any of the walk. And this right here, I think, is why, at this point, most people see right through him. If you were fooled by him in 2016, I would hope at this point you realize he was completely full of crap. You saw the broken promises. You saw he didn't care about anybody else. Remember his healthcare plan? What he was running in 2016. Everybody will be covered. Then the most he did on healthcare was try and repeal Obamacare, which would have thrown more people off of healthcare. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking into a void at this point, because I know most of you get this stuff, right? This is not news, but it is just incredible that, I don't know. I look at polls and I'm like, yeah, sure, Joe Biden isn't perfect. He's got problems. How are these polls even close? How possibly are the? Who are you talking to? Who are you calling? It's so weird to me to see, how close these polls are between Trump and Biden. It should not be close. You could blame, maybe Democrats a bit, but Biden a bit, and I have. But at some point, who are these people that are still supporting Trump? Or Republicans generally? Who are you? What's wrong with you? It's just so weird to me. I get being, independent and not supporting either, but and being frustrated in that way. I understand that frustration. I don't get the continued support of Republicans when they have just worked their forever. They've worked against the interests of working people. But maybe that'll change tonight with the debate. It's not going to change. But this is my way of plugging the debate tonight that, again, we will be covering, we as in me and members of the podcast, Leftist Mafia, covering tonight with some couple special guests as well. So come check out our live coverage of that debate right here on youtube.com/The Rational National. And maybe during the commercial breaks, we'll check in on this Trump speech, if that's going on at the exact same time. But regardless, debate is at 9 p.m. Eastern, so we're going to be live around 8:45. Around 8:45. So come check it out.